So my independent study is on the mind-body connection of martial arts. So I have been training in martial arts for 10 years now, and I have learned that it not only impacts my physical health, but also has such extreme benefit to the way I think, the way I approach challenges, and just my overall frame of mind. So the main question I've been asking myself throughout this independent study has been, how does martial arts truly strengthen that mind-body connection in order to benefit individuals in the long term? So my thesis was that this project examines how martial arts promotes physical development and mental resilience in people through discipline, training, and body awareness, grounded in those philosophical principles of martial arts. To further this study, I conducted a series of interviews with martial arts experts, as well as did a focused literature report. So these were the three main books that were the focus of my study. And throughout the readings and the books, there were three main themes that kind of emerged as a commonality. And those were personal development, martial philosophy, and technical concepts. I read the book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens by Sean Covey, and it also has a sequel, which you all might have read of the older version. But this book talked about building discipline and self-awareness by training with purpose, balance, and empathy. And he also talked about the importance of building well-structured habits that will help you and benefit you throughout the rest of your life. I also read the Book of 5 Rings by Miyoto Musashi, and he talked about how mastery comes from mental flexibility and strategic, thoughtful action, not just physical skill. He also talked about how martial arts develops the full character, your mind, body, and mindset. Finally, I read Infinite Insights into Kempo by Ed Parker. And he talked a lot about how power and skill grow when movement, breathing, and focus work together with balance and intention. He broke up all of the basic forms of martial arts, such as reverse punches, blocks, kicks, and talked about the fundamentals and how much those impact you progressing in this form of martial arts, and how everything comes back to the basics. So the interviews were my favorite part because I got to learn from personal experiences of people who have dedicated their lives to martial arts. Master Henry Kalatag, who is the founder of Legacy Martial Arts, which is where I train, and also a 6th-degree black belt, was recently diagnosed with Parkinson's disease at a very young age. He has turned something which could be a devastating diagnosis and setback into motivation to keep going. And he said, Kempo is a principle-based art form. It's like algebra. Once you understand the principles, you can see them everywhere. And this is a common thing that's talked about in all of martial arts, which is it is an ever-evolving form of art. There is no true mastery at it, and there is nobody who can know everything. It's always growing, it's always changing. Every form is different, and everything goes back to the basics. Something that really fascinated me about Guru Heather Wall, who is a Kali practitioner, is the fact that as a woman in martial arts, she experienced a lot of gender discrimination, however, found a reason to keep going and has achieved tremendous things. She said, people didn't expect women to lead in this space. That's exactly why I kept going. Finally, Mr. Stephen K. Hayes, who is the founder of Toshindo Martial Arts, and he was also the bodyguard for the Dalai Lama for about 10 years. And he talked a lot about his key principles that have helped him stay calm under pressure, and whenever he's thrown with a challenge or setback that is just completely unexpected, how to approach that situation. He said, I am a protector, not a predator. That even includes the troublemaker, because I have to protect them too, and keep them from doing something that could harm themselves. In Toshindo, it's rooted in 5 key elements: earth, water, fire, wind, and void. Earth represents staying grounded, water represents fluidity, fire represents attack and fierceness, wind represents grace, and void represents intuition. So, in conclusion, I learned that focus, discipline, adaptability, and awareness are just as important as technique. And training the mind helps the body perform better. In Kempo, we have a saying, which is, wherever the mind goes, the body follows. And that builds right off of the point how martial arts is the whole person, body, mind, and character. From the interviews and the books, I've learned that martial arts is not just about physical gains, but it has the ability to truly impact an individual in the long term for the good and for the better. And then for my project, I decided to write articles combining the interviews and the books and synthesizing them and specifically stating the mind-body connection that each martial arts has in common with each other. Thank you.